So over the next few weeks, I'm going to share from the book, The Go-Giver. Okay, this is this book, The Go-Giver, by Burg and John David Mann. Some of us actually know John David Mann. John David Mann has actually eaten in my home. We met him at an MLM conference in Singapore, and he's the author of The Slight Edge and many other books. And he actually have two of his articles in Daniel's book, Growing Thots. So, wonderful author. And in this book, The Go-Giver, the authors argue that you should make giving rather than getting your first priority in business and in life. And they say success will follow. Now, if you look at the subtitle of the book, okay, if you look at the subtitle of the book, okay, it says a little story about a powerful business idea. It's actually really more than just about business. This book is told as a story. Joe wants to learn how to be a successful entrepreneur, and he learns it from this very successful person called Pindar. You know? And Pindar told Joe a sound business principle would apply anywhere in life. And of course, sound life principles apply to business. And that's why when we apply these things in our lives, we are actually learning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay? If you make your life principles part of how you live life, so there is this consistency, what we call an integrity in how you live your life. It's very much about giving value. So some of you may say, Go-Giver, you know, we've been practicing this. Of course, if you've been in our environment and with MAID and all that, you've been practicing this in a new skin environment. But I ask you to actually stay with us over the next few weeks. I actually saw this principle of giving value in my previous career, so it's not something new. What is the Singapore Armed Forces about when I did national service? It's about giving your life for your country. Okay, definitely it's about sacrificing your life for your buddies. Okay, that's going beyond just what you're paid for. When I was an engineer, what did we do? We built buildings that would last. We would build buildings that people lust after. You know, and it all starts from nothing. You know, flat ground or maybe jungle. Okay. When I did financial planning, I was literally creating value for people. I was helping people having a bigger return on their investment. I was teaching people how to leverage, so with something small you get something bigger. We were teaching people how to multiply, you know, expand. And what I was doing was I was helping people buy what they wanted because they saw value, because they would keep on paying for it. So, you know, this principle is something that, you know, many of you would acknowledge. But let's see how we can apply it to network marketing in particular. So over the next 5 weeks or more, we will look at the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Okay, what the authors call the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Number 1 is the law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. We'll look at the law of compensation, where your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. We'll look at the law of influence, where your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. In 7 Habits, we talked about win-win. Okay? The law of authenticity, where the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And we saw that at MAM last Saturday, where Sue shared about her breakthrough, and it was shared with, you know, with vulnerability, with authenticity. She offered herself. Okay. And lastly, we will look at the law of receptivity, where the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Okay. So if you want to be good at giving, you know, you need to be good at receiving. Okay. shifting our focus from getting to giving, consistently and constantly providing value to others, is not only a fulfilling way to live life and conduct business, but a very profitable way as well. In today's highly competitive dog-eat-dog business environment, can we actually give our way to success? Are we being naive to think this is possible in the real world? When you can move from an I or me focus to an other focus, people feel they like you, can trust you, and want to form a relationship with you. You become a go-giver. And in our environment, you see a lot of examples of people like that. My son Chris is an example of someone who, who's always focused on the other people. Okay, and you will not only be more successful financially, but successful in other areas that make up life. And that's really important. We don't want to teach just business principles. We want to teach principles that make you successful in the whole of life. And these 5 laws that I just mentioned, they are to be applied together, just like the leadership distinctions we talked about earlier last year. Okay, so that's about being a go-giver. What about being a go-getter? Okay, what about being a go-getter? The focus is not on give, but on get. And let me say, there's nothing wrong with being a go-getter, because go-getters take action and they get results. Now, not every go-getter is a go-giver, but remember, I want to say this, every go-giver is a go-getter. Okay, a go-giver is not some lembe, soft person. He's a person that takes action and gets results too. What is the opposite of a go-giver? The opposite of a go-giver is a go-taker. A go-taker's entire focus is on himself, his needs, his deadlines, what's in it for me. And you can see when we share blessings, whether a person is blessed because he gives or because he gets. So be a go-getter, a person of action, okay, and be a go-giver, a person whose focus is on bringing value to others. Now, by the way, I want to share that another book in this series is this book called Go Givers Sell More. In the introduction to this book, the book discusses, and I'm quoting from the book, the great upside down misconception about sales is that it is an effort to get something from others. The truth is that sales at its best, that is, at its most effective, is precisely the opposite. It is about giving. Selling is giving. Giving time, attention, counsel, education, empathy, and value. In fact, the word sell comes from the Old English word sellan, S-E-L-L-A-N, which means, you guessed it, to give. So the word sell comes from the word to give.